Everyone, I'm Vincent. Well, with Joseph here today. But before that, I'll give you a brief introduction to, because today is the debut, very much of what we're doing. Archilite C, which stands for Archilite Commune, discovers slow places, people, and objects in the community. So every week, we sit down with a guest, a friend. Joseph is a friend. Someone who makes a positive difference in our built environment. We'd like to know their stories. In today's 7-10 minutes with Archilite C, we're very happy to have Joseph with us. Joseph is a co-founder of Sol Luminaire, which is one of the best-known brands in Singapore for their very highly curated selection of interior architectural light fittings. Thank you, Joseph, for being here.
Hey, thanks, Vincent, for the invite, man. Hi, guys. I'm actually Joseph from Sol Luminaire.
Right, Joseph. A few quick questions. What brings you to the business of interior light fittings? I'm not sure. Probably have not asked you before, but is it because you've got this passion for lights, you've got passion for interior and architecture, or is it because there is a certain entrepreneurship vibes about you, or your interest in business, and therefore something that you want to bring to the plate, and causing, I don't know, but in some ways disruption to the lighting industry? Hope for you to share with us more.
Right, sure. Okay, actually, let's throw back all the way to 2012 when I first basically started up the company. The main reason is we are actually a very design-driven company. I'm very attached to interior design and even design spaces, for example, right? And one thing that we noticed in the market that's lacking is basically quality lighting at a point of time. So, we do very good design, we use very good materials, finishing. But when it comes to lighting, it tends to be very flat, very, not very controlled. So you have a lot of stray lights here and there. So actually there is like a big gap in the lighting industry in Singapore. And when you pursue for a very good lighting, you have to go all the way to Europe. So very expensive, very long lead time. And, people just can't wait in Singapore. You can't wait for, 3 to 4 months for light fittings to come. So they want it quick. And that's where we see the niche in the market, and that's where we start to come in.
What were you doing before Sol Luminaire then? Something related to light as well?
No way, man. If I'm going to tell you, right, you won't believe. Really,
tell me.
I was a chef.
I didn't have the chance.
I was a chef. I was a trained cook. Yeah, I was in the culinary industry for quite a while. Yeah, and I was on my way to CIA, so Culinary Institute of America. Yeah, was about to leave Singapore until I think that it's time, and I just have the calling to get related in interior design, but not as a designer, but as a supplier that can slowly mold the way things work in Singapore. And lighting was the thing that struck me the most.
Was there some sort of interior design images, or like a passing ad? Advert that, like, on the bus or in the airport that captures your
right. So
your imagination.
The thing that I look out a lot during the younger days is I will tend to read a lot of magazines. So the Japanese interior magazines, or even the local interior magazine. The thing that capture my eyes the most is usually the pendant lights or the lighting display. It makes me wonder, and when we compare it to the local projects, just take a look at our HDBs and all. People spend a lot of money doing interior,
100%.
But when it comes to light, then we are a bit missing out comparing to our neighbor country. Like Japan, for example, in the Asia country itself. Yeah, like Japan has very nice lights, has very detailed pendant lights. So this was the kick, and this was the calling for me.
I think that by and large, I'm a trained architect and interior designer, doing not so much as an architect now, but more of interior architecture. The importance of light is important. Is essential, I would say, because it crafts the entire perception of everything that we see. So I would probably add on to that the look and feel of the fitting itself is something that's quite prevalent already in Singapore before you come along, before Sol Luminaire comes along. But however, to get beyond that, to get beyond the things which are obvious, to really go down to things which are more less tangible, that takes some time and knowledge and some guts to to really want to dwell into that and to share that with people.
I totally agree.
So that brings me to the second point, to the second part of the session, which I really hope that you can shed some light with us. What's your story about for Sol Luminaire? What does Sol Luminaire mean? And recently you have launched this brand as well as a new showroom. We must see it someday. Someday soon. It's called Lab 2.1. Please tell us more with regards to these two brands.
Right. Okay. So right now that Sol Luminaire, when we kick off, we want to be the disruptor in the market. We want to bring in different finishing product with different type of technology and constantly improving, our hot selling models, for example. Yeah. Then Sol Luminaire basically means actually sunlight. It's a translation from I think it's Sing, if I'm not wrong, and it's supposed to mean sunlight. Yeah. And it's supposed to be a very natural thing. And, if let's say you have been looking through our product, there is no halogen, there's no old school type of technology. So it's just very new LED specs. Yeah. So that's why it's as natural, as power saving as possible. And from there onwards, we started to branch out a little bit more. Right now, we are actually the project that we just kick off, the Lab 2.1, will actually bring in more design. More finishing, more types of pendant lights to actually excite the market and just cause a little bit of spark in the design industry.
We were catching up before going on live. We were talking about Sol Luminaire having Aeon as a core brand. Yes. So we have likened it to something that is specially crafted because it kind of represents the spirit and the ideas behind. Creating almost this perfect series of light as far as you and your team are concerned, to make sure that if there's a light, that there's only one light to go for, at least for your team, then that's the light that you very much want to have, right? So so having said that, Lab 2.1 is about engaging with others, not necessarily because later on you can share with us some of the other products. Not necessarily but people who share the same interest in crafting, interest in making their products special, and that's what Lab 2.1 is. You want to bring those products, and exactly. Most of these are overseas.
Yes, so most of these are actually overseas. So let's just go back to how we actually start up Sol Luminaire. So Sol Luminaire revolves around the LED technology, and we design our lightings with the LED technology. But for the lab, it's the otherwise. The LED has to fit the design of the product. So we will customize the design. So it's very design inclined. And we will use different type of technology to fit into the design. Then from there onwards, we will improve the living standard or even the interior aspect of your home. Then we, at the same time, we'll bring in brands like Basta & Punch, which I was sharing with you earlier just now. These guys are actually from London, and they made very, very, very nice craft on the sockets, the dimmer switches. They work perfectly fine with the lights that you find at our gallery.
Oh, that's important.
That's very important.
That is very important.
So I think a lot of people have this little problem when they use different type of dimmers because of sometimes it's because of technology, sometimes it's because of consistency. So,
something but I'm glad all the time.
I'm glad that you should try. You should have a look at the dimmer system that we have right now with Basta & Punch. I think it's fabulous. It's absolutely fantastic. If you're gonna pair it up with the dimmed warm functions that we have in the gallery, it's really nice, really, really smooth, and there is no flickering or any distortion in your lights. Okay, and moving forward, beside Buster and Punch, we have also the scenting company from Singapore. I think she's called the Artisan of Scent. She does all her scenting herself. It's very, very interesting. And also we believe at the same time, scenting, it will help your interior, your living, your atmosphere at home, and the whole vibe that your whole interior space will probably give out. So that's how we came about with the Lab 2.1. The whole chain of product will basically affect your whole interior space, your whole interior mood, from sight to scent to smell to whatever you name it, and to touch.
Interesting.
So you excite your all your senses.
The fact is that many of us has got like 5 senses. I mean, some for some of us, maybe certain part, it's like we are more oblivious to it, or less attentive, or things along that. And some of them comes across like really strong. Like for example, one of our partners has got such a strong sense of smell. So should be like incredibly interested in.
Oh yeah.
I think the product we should be carrying in. But but to go back to your point, the whole idea that the interior is really made up of a lot of things, and really as far as we are concerned, it's not so much about us. Of course, it's more about some of the stories that you were sharing. But just to relate it back to how, as a practitioner, when we do our interior, how those things are really part of the things that you would be somehow. The thing about Joseph is that, especially right now when all of us are at home, whether you like it or not, there's this slowing down of pace, and then you start to look out for things which are around you, things which possibly can calm you down, things that can make you happy, so on and so forth. And each of these like individual pieces, they seem more important than when you are just fleeting through things normally. Right. So I think that brings us to the third section, which I very equally enthusiastic about sharing, because it involves a lot on the current situation. So we're not talking about something which is like 2 months back, or we're really thinking of how different businesses and different individuals, how you're going to navigate your business and your passion during this situation of the COVID lingering around. Not sure for how long, but lingering around. And after that, how is your core ideas and your thoughts? Share with us.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just start with the COVID situation first, and I think that this will basically change the ball game of the industry quite drastically. I think that right now, in the past, before we have this COVID thing, right, there's a lot of face-to-face consultation. I believe that you are very aware of it. A lot of multiple trips to the gallery with the homeowners 100%. to confirm the design, to confirm the lighting points, to take a look at the lights and all. And before that, there is also a lot of hand-drawn lighting plan. It was very quick and go. So we just use our hand draw and just pass it out. So back at 2018, I would say we actually started digitalization, but it wasn't at a full go until recent years, until especially when COVID kicked in, right? The switch was put to the max, and everybody is on digitalization right now. So basically, we have to work with technology that can actually help us, help the industry, and actually, accelerate the consultation speed as well, because the technology will basically tell you numbers that are actually accurate. Yeah, so that's what we are actually trying to do, and we are actually doing it as of today. Very interesting.
Would you like to show us some of the slides that you showed me just now?
Yeah, sure. So right now, for example, right, I'm just going to share my screen right now.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Please go ahead.
I'm just going to put up my website first, and this is how the steps are actually happening right now. Okay, so you guys can see? So you
Yep.
see, Vincent? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
basically, a lot of the consumer right now today, they will go up to our webpage, go to the product, okay, and actually have a look at all the products that we have to offer, or most of the product that we have to offer. For example, if the designer is actually speccing in ISA, another top seller of ours, they can actually go into ISA and have a look at the design, the finishing, the houses that are actually completed with ISA, like this, the wattage output, the color temperature, with this little feature called the dimmed warm. So just now I was talking to you about the dimmed warm feature, which is very good for your scene setting at home. So you get the 2K to 3K, sunset to the normal warm white setting. Very, very interesting. And right now, we actually know the product that we are going in. We will basically come up with the lighting plan that will actually assist our digital consultation.
Yeah, this is very exciting. Come, take a look.
So right now we know the product that we want to go. So for example, I'm just going to pluck out this layout from our Confirm project. Okay, you can actually see that they are also using ISA Soft Trimless V2 right here. This time around in black. So the whole lighting plan is basically digitalized. So there is no more hand-drawn, no more quick sketch or whatever it is. Right now we are going to use AutoCAD, plot it in, very accurate up to the distance.
Joseph, you're still looking at the at your website instead of the plan.
Let me just switch it out for you guys. Hang on.
All right.
Here you go. Can you see it? Is it okay?
Oh yeah, yes, very much.
Yeah. All right,
awesome.
Cool. Okay, so this is basically the digital lighting plan that I'm talking about. Instead of sketches or instead of hand-drawn lighting plan, we are actually moving towards AutoCAD generated lighting plan. So this is actually very, very accurate, even from wall to light or light to light distance. And from there, we can actually develop this layout called the Dilux. This will actually show how bright the light is, the lux level, which is the unit of brightness, around the area. So for example, the next slide, we will go in depth on the most important area, the living, the dining, and the open kitchen area. So basically, yes, that's right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You actually see that the lux level at the living area is around 300 to 200, 200 to 300. Around this lux level. We go to the typical lux recommendation, it is at 300. So this is really important for our home users or even interior designer, that they know what they are getting. So we understand that at the same time, the lights are not compromised, the brightness is not compromised. So we are getting the right or adequate illumination around the house. So this software basically helps us to achieve that. And when we send this whole presentation out to the homeowners or the architect, right? They know that we are not lying. They know that the numbers is real. The thing is real. It's at their face right now. This is the
got it.
level.
Got it. The lights, they work in incredibly complicated ways, and therefore for a long period of time. But of course, it goes with the experience of the designers. That being familiar with the different kinds of lights, as well as where and how they should be positioned, how far apart away from each other, from the walls and all that. But with the softwares and the kind of service that you're able to help both the designers to ensure that the accuracy is there, and of course at the same time for the users, for the homeowners to appreciate how the whole thing that comes into play. I'm not sure whether necessarily homeowners will be able to understand like some of these. I suppose for some people, but maybe not all. But I think it's the assurance that is important. You think this will be how the market, as in right now, at least this is something which you are very much pushing for Soluminous.
That's right.
During this period of time.
Yes, during this period of time, I think that this will be used quite commonly. And even after the period, right, I think this will become more or less a norm, because it double acts as an assurance to a lot of home users. Yeah, so even junior IDs or senior IDs, sometimes we do get the request of generating Dialux program. We do Dialux. Initially, when we do Dialux, right, I think it's only for our commercial clienteles. So we work with so we work with like Nikes, we work with Nike, Skechers, and the big boys in the sport industry.
Yes.
They basically ask for Dialux.
Require that.
Yeah, they need to know.
Do you know why for those projects? I'm sure you know why, but just for people who are listening in or who are watching us, because these are like stipulated minimum like requirements from either the developers or sometimes the authorities, and therefore the practitioners and contractors, whoever has got to get it right. But I suppose this is really helpful for this period of time whereby, because before that, while this technology or this service is available, but the play, as in the use of that is quite it's not as fast and as obvious as when the clients just pop into the shop and take a look at how the lights perform. And that's the value, and that's the value of a physical interior space. I mean, something that I spend a lot of time thinking of as well, as in physical interior spaces. But with the absence of the physicality of showrooms and of your very, very beautiful lighting that comes into showing the actual self, this will be the next
a great
area for clients to really appreciate and to know, because sometimes even for the rest of us, seeing is one thing, but how it performs at your place and how you perform at your gallery can be very different.
That's right. I agree. So at the end of the presentation, the mini presentation or the consultation, right, we will actually include a little bit of 3D with Dialux as well, and a few photos to actually show the owners how does it really look like.
Can you show us that?
Sure. This is actually the elevation render. Actually, when you see all the colors on the floor, right, it actually tell you how much the lux is and how comfortable you will actually feel at home. So, like you said, but I think people who don't practice it might not be able to visualize, and it's a bit hard to see. It's a bit hard to navigate. So what we do next is actually we just put in photos to show it to them. This is basically the comparison, the normal setup. So you have like double units of ISAs. So this is basically the completion.
Yeah. How you look like it.
Exactly. The atmosphere that we are
physical.
Yeah. So this will double ensure that, this is what I'm getting into, and this is the lighting plan that is going to come up like this. The actual product after finishing and after installation is going to turn out like this. So this is one way that we are trying to move towards this market right now. Yeah. Awesome. Then the very final move, if let's say the circuit breaker is lifted and we found a vaccine, which I really hope so. The final 100%. Move, coming to the showroom, coming to the gallery, then you feel the lights again, look at the finishing, look at the technology, and make it happen from there.
Yeah. The thing is that during that there is always a preferred way, and a preferred way of doing things is sometimes unfortunately, but very much predicated on tradition, on what has been done before. So, but this can possibly create a new norm, exactly. that can serve really and go in tandem, in parallel to visiting showrooms, because then they get to talk to consultants, they get to really get involved in the look and feel and touch of the real product. But this is great. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. No worries. And another last thing that I would like to also share is, let's say if you're looking for pendant lights right here, right? If you see this little countertop,
breakfast area, bar.
Right. That's right. I'm gonna share my screen towards the web store again. That's where we get to see basically the pendant lights that spec in. Can you see the screen?
Yep. No, we're still looking at the slide.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, if let's say,
this is great.
No problem. So let's say that the designer were to spec in a different type of pendant lights for your, your countertop or even your landing area. Then this is where we can actually see the product during this period of time. So these are all here. So even for the product, the names, the design, the length, let's just click into one of this and you can actually have a look. So it tells you the price, tells you the color, tells you the dimension. So people can actually visualize from here. So this will basically aid us, during this tough time.
Thank you so much for sharing your ideas, and I think this is not something that is easily being thought of. What I mean is that you could have been thinking and planning for all of this, even showing the Dialux plans and to be able to to push it out on a more major scale. But it's just that now with this situation that we have to rely more on technology and online communicating, and this becomes really the get lifted up to be put on a pedestal more than previously. So which is great, So it talks about that we really as practitioners, as business owners, at least for you, to really think down the line, right into the future, and you never know when something is suitable for a very different time altogether.
We were actually very lucky because we kickstarted in the year 2018 and 2019. So we basically sent the whole team of our guys, our sales consultant, our drafter, go take the course professionally. So we get it right at the year 2019, and we've been using it for commercial project. So thankfully right now, it's not wasted. We put it into place, roll it out in residential projects, just to help everybody.
100%. Yeah, that's very useful. That's very useful. Really, for folks who just join us, who has been listening for a while, we'll be doing this weekly. I'm thinking of even doing this more than once a week, but we'll see. We'll look at how schedules go. But it will be but the whole point is actually two things. Is to because we're really interested in what I've mentioned earlier at the beginning, Archilite C, a platform of community. It stands for Archilite Commune. We're discovering slow places, people, and objects. We're really keen to understand the stories of brands, and including a very interesting and intriguing one of Lab 2.1 and Solumine, right? And to see how brands during this period of time can and will definitely navigate forward and to bring positive impact and difference in people's lives. So this is something that we're really passionate about. And thank you, Joseph, for joining us today.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you for your precious time. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, folks.